To former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that that hit his ear. So it's conceivable. Although, as I sit here right now, I don't know whether that bullet, in addition to causing the grazing, could have also landed somewhere else. With respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that that hit his ear. So it's conceivable. Although, as I sit here right now, I don't know whether that bullet, in addition to causing the grazing, could have also landed somewhere else.
This will be the narrative. By the way, they don't have to say that President Trump wasn't shot. All he has to say is that there is some question about. That's all they have to do, because they know their surrogates will take it the other mile. Trump is probably lying about it. I mean, he lies about everything. I mean, we've got a guy who lies about everything. And he knows exactly what he's doing. Well, we're still not sure. We're not clear. We don't have, and we don't know what the motive of the shooter was. That's the name of the game. Now, I'll tell you right now, there's only one person I have to blame for this. And it ain't Christopher. It's Donald Trump. Why didn't he fire him? Why didn't Trump fire this corrupt piece of shite the second he was elevated to the position? They're all cut from the same ilk. Him, Strzok, Page, McCabe, they're all cut from the same piece of garbage. God. FBI director casts doubt on Trump being struck by bullet during assassination attempt. During assassination attempt, we don't know if the bullet hit him. During a assassination attempt, what were they trying to do? Were they using a bow and arrow? Were they using like one of David's slingshots? What were they using? What's usually used in an assassination? God, these people are just... FBI Director Christopher Wray has raised doubts as to whether or not Donald Trump was struck by a bullet during an assassination attempt at the Pennsylvania rally. Wray testified before the House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday about the ongoing investigation. Sorry, I got to stop right there. Christopher Wray before the House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday about the ongoing investigation. This is the same guy that would not say one word about an ongoing investigation, but now all of a sudden he's singing like a 16-year-old girl on prom night. Wray testified, I gotta calm down. This kind of crap just burns my cackles. Wray testified before the House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday about the ongoing investigation into the attempt on former President Trump's life and the response to the law enforcement agency that day. When questioned by committee chairman Jim Jordan as to whether or not the FBI had accounted for all bullets at the scene, Wray said that 8 spent rounds were recovered from the rooftop of the building from which the gunman opened fire. Here's what you were supposed to believe. It's one of these things where, no one would have believed this. That's why have you ever seen like a movie where there's a lot of misdirection, where you think they were trying to do this, but they were actually doing that, or they had this really, sophisticated this and sophisticated that. You know why they do that? Because they know that if they were to sell to the American people, the American moviegoer, that a 20-year-old outsmarted law enforcement, Secret Service at every turn for hours and hours. No one would believe it. No one would go see that movie. Man, these people, when questioned by committee chairman Jim Jordan as to whether or not the FBI had accounted for the bullets at the scene, Wray said 8 spent rounds were recovered from the rooftop of the building from which the gunman. How do you know it was a gunman? How do you know he's the only one? Have you concluded your investigation? I know how eager you were to get to Capitol Hill to testify on behalf of the shooter. I'm just wondering, how do you know he was the lone gunman? I don't know. Do you know? No one does. So why do you think that is? That's why everybody, we don't know. We don't know if he was shot or not. Well, with respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel. It's a question. There's a question. Who's asking that question? You say, some of our GOP lawmakers are as clueless as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. With all due respect, I love Jim Jordan. I really do. I think for the most part, he does a solid job. He does a solid job. But when it comes to stuff like this, when a statement is made like this, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel. Okay, where did the shrapnel come from? Who's asking that question? I didn't hear anyone ask that question. Did anyone ask that question? I would have asked, oh, Christopher Wray, that's interesting. When you say that some question about whether, who asked that question? I know that Joy Reid asked the question. I know that Rachel Maddow asked the question. Nicole Wallace asked the question. I know that those nincompoops from CNN asked the question. I'm wondering, Christopher Wray, who asked that question? Quote, as I sit here right now, I don't know whether the bullet, in addition to causing the grazing, could have landed somewhere else. We don't know. He added, but I believe we've accounted for all the shots in the cartridge. But I believe we've accounted for all of the shots in the cartridges. Cartridges. How many shots were fired? How many bullets were in one cartridge? I'm not a gun guy. I don't know. How many cartridges did you find? Was there more than one? How do you know someone was not on the water tower? See, when they start giving you definitive no's, when you hear Christopher Wray saying over and over, well, the shooter, we believe that the shooter did what the shooter did, the shooter did that, the shooter was the shooter. They're trying to give you, they're planting the seed in your mind that this is the guy who outsmarted law enforcement. This is the guy that got off shot after shot after shot after shot after shot after shot after shot before being taken down. The loser fired a volley of 8 rounds toward Trump. 8 rounds. 8 rounds. Wow. He's 8 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Before he was taken down. I'm supposed to believe that he did this all on his own. Former White House physician Ronnie Jackson has said that Trump was shot in the ear, created a 2-centimeter wide wound, according to a memo shared with Axios. Former White House physician Ronnie Jackson has said that Trump was shot in the ear, creating a 2-centimeter wide wound, according to a memo shared with Axios. The former president has also repeatedly said that he was struck in the ear by a bullet. Well, I mean, there's just a question about whether or not he was, shot or we don't know what hit him. It could have been a bird. Now, do you know why they're doing this? Because they know you ain't going to beat that. You can put a black woman up there. You can try to shame black people into thinking that Kamala Harris is one of us. You can play all the little games with the media, with her being the border czar, or she's the most wonderful, qualified person to be in the White House. You can play that game, but there is no way you're getting beyond that photo. Sorry, you ain't getting beyond that photo. There is nowhere you can go. There he is, defiant, arm, fist raised, American flag in the background. That's why they have to cast. He wasn't shot. We don't know if he was shot or not. Still, there's some question. I told you. Why is Christopher Wray so willing to talk about an ongoing investigation when his go-to phrase is, we don't comment on ongoing investigations? But this one he can, because he has to get out there. He has to start planting the seeds of doubt. Well, no, maybe he wasn't. And then the women on The View can get together and go, well, with Christopher Wray is not sure whether or not he was drunk. Then you can go to Joy Reid. Well, the Christopher Wray director, the FBI director, he doesn't know if he was shot or not. And then you can go on CNN and you can go all over the world and say, well, hold on a minute now. The director, he's a director. The director says. They're doing it because they know they can't beat that. That shot on your screen. He is an American icon. Their failed attempt is spit back in her face. And now they know. Now they are faced with a real dilemma. We made him a martyr. Like I said, I lay this all at the doorstep of Donald Trump. You should have fired these pieces of shite, but you didn't. Why you didn't, I do not know. Why you would hire a John Bolton, why you wouldn't fire Christopher Wray, why you wouldn't fire all of these, I don't know. But maybe now, maybe now he understands how much they hate him. All right, that's it for now. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.